Alright, today I'm going to talk about the hypertext markup language. So, the hypertext markup language, or HTML, as a lot of people know it, is the set of code that's inserted in a file that is intended for a World Wide Web page, basically the backbone of your web page. And the language actually tells the web browser how to display the content through a series of elements or tags. I'm going to be referring to them as tags in this, and there are a few elements that are actually necessary in order to make the web page display properly, or tags that you need to display the web page. And this is how these tags look. So you're gonna have the name of the tag here in between a less than and greater than symbol, and then you're gonna put your content in between this and the closing tag. So whatever content relates to that tag is what you're going to put in there, and then you put a closing tag with the less than symbol and a forward slash and the name of the tag again with greater than symbol, and that is how you make tags and put content in them. So the first bracket or tag that's actually needed for an HTML file is the HTML tag, and all of your content is going to be put in here. You're not going to close this tag until you actually finish writing all your code. And the next tag is the head tag, where this is where you can insert the title of a web page. So what you see at the top of the tab, the text at the top of the tab at your on your web browser, that's what you see. And also, this is where you're going to point to your CSS and JavaScript files wherever they are on your computer. There's some code you write to actually locate it and to link it up to the HTML file. And you can also link it up things like jQuery, where all the code for it to work is written online. You can link it to the actual online page, and you're able to use something like jQuery, but that's just one example out of many. And then we have probably the most important tag you need, which is the body tag, and this is where all the content that's actually displayed on the page is going to be. So all the text you see, that's where it's going to be, and this is also where you can write something like JavaScript or CSS within HTML. And I'm going to show you an example of a web page where I actually use CSS within HTML. But people don't usually do this because it's very unstructured and unorderly. You're definitely going to want to just have separate JavaScript and CSS files to link up to your HTML page. So now I'm going to head over to my computer screen and show you how the code looks and how the web page is going to look. Alright, so now we have the actual code, which I'm just using Notepad++ to code in. So as you can see, you start off with the HTML tag and don't end it until you're done writing all your code. Then the head comes next with the title, and you put the text that you actually see at the top of the tab within these brackets, and then you close the head, and then the body is where you're going to see all the content on the web page that I've done. And here's an example of an h1 tag, and the h1 and div and also the ordered list tags are special here because I'm using CSS within HTML using this style property, which you can set equal to a type of quotation, and in these quotations is where you're actually writing CSS code, and whatever you write within this h1 tag and the rest goes for this is what the content's going to look like for that tag. So this is an H1 header, is going to be displayed, and the font size is going to be 20 pixels, and the background color of it is going to be blue. And then the div you'll see will just be a background color of red, and will be a box behind this text, and it'll be 50 by 100. And this is also going to have italic lettering, which we use the I tag for. And then we close that up, and then we have an ordered list here, which is just basically a numbered list, and each tag is a number in the list. And I just have some names of the fruits here, and I color coordinated them using the CSS code. And then we close up our body. So now I'll show you what this looks like. So we have the header right here. As you can see, it's a bigger font because that's what headers are supposed to look like within your web page. And we have the title as well right here. And then we have the div, which is 50 by 100 with this italic lettering in it. And then we have the ordered list that are all color coordinated. And this is how the web page interprets the code and displays it. So this was just an explanation about what the hypertext markup language is and what you actually do with it, and an example of the code.